This year saw the Roger Albert Clark Rally return, bigger and better than before, providing crews from the UK and beyond with a chance to compete on an event in the spirit of the original RAC Rally, the one they all talk about. The feeling among the 91 crews starting the rally would be mixed, nerves building for some, while others were eager for the challenge, and some even wishing for the authentic RAC Rally experience.
We want the fog and the rain and the mud. That's why we're here, you know.
That'll be a breeze. Toughest rally since 1986. What could possibly go wrong?
You know, keeping your nose clean on this rally is going to be key as well. No punctures, no getting stuck in ditches and things now. So, but I've been known to say that before and been in the park bench before the first mile in this event. So it's a tough one, you know, but we will try our best.
Just like the rally which this incarnation seeks to emulate, the rally wouldn't head straight for the forests, instead taking on a spectator stage at Chelsea Walsh, and for the first time the cars would run both up and down the hill, a challenge which was providing an opportunity for showboating in front of the crowds of fans, as well as providing a challenge for some that proved a little too much on occasions. The old saying, of course, you can't win a rally in these stages, but you can certainly lose it. After the short spectator stage then, the crews headed out to the forests for stages in Radnor and Epping, and it would be the newly crowned British historic champions Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark leading the way on their home stages. Roger Chilman and Brian Thomas would also take advantage of the more local stages on the event. Despite this being only the 5th rally for Roger in a rear-wheel drive car, it was clear he had the pace to challenge for a good result this weekend. And indeed, the top of the leaderboard will be filled with BHRC regulars, those who had done many of these stages in the previous months on championship rounds and using that to their advantage to open up those few seconds of an advantage before heading north at the end of the first leg.
Hardly any of the events been completed today, so you know, tomorrow starts again fresh, so it'll be good. It's a long way to go, and we're still here, still in one piece. That's the main thing.
So with the Welsh leg of the event complete, the crews made the long trip north to Carlisle, Saturday's stages taking on part of the Kielder complex, and there would be no change to the lead either. Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark gaining a little more advantage as the event went on, 49 seconds of a lead by the end of day 2. In fact, Pritchard's closest challenge for that lead would have changed. Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell starting to push more now and climbing their way up the leaderboard to fight for that lead, certainly looking like being in contention for it. Fan favourites Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis would be rounding out the podium places by the end of day 2, still getting used to being back in an Escort after their previous 2 seasons developing that Fiat 131 in various events. They wouldn't, however, have things easy. Roger Chilman and Brian Thomas would be close behind, despite Roger having very limited experience on stages in the north of England. Not everyone would be having a good run though. The event would already be claiming its fair share of victims. Frank Cunningham and Ryland James in that fantastic looking Sierra would sadly put it off on stage 7, causing damage to the front end of the car.
And it's just trying too hard, I guess, too early in the day.
And things wouldn't be going to plan at all for Henry Grehan and Chris Ridge in the Open Rally. Engine failure on the first day of competition saw them restart on day 2, only for them to roll the car out of the event later in the day. They would, however, get the car sorted and back out again for day 3.
It's a long way to go. We're only halfway through the rally, so it's only a spin or silly mistake. So we're just trying to keep concentrated and do our best on every stage.
Day 3 would see a different challenge for the crews, heading into Scotland for the stages. And we'd see a shake-up in the leaderboard as well. We lose our rally leaders, Jason Pritchard and Phil Clark. They retire with half-shaft failure on stage 21. So that, of course, meant that the lead was now Marty McCormack's. Barney Mitchell alongside, a good advantage in that position as well, would, in theory, see them able to back off for the final day of the competition. But we know nothing is that simple, particularly in this rally, whether you take the new version or indeed the original version. Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis would move up to 2nd place with the loss of our rally leaders. There wouldn't be much they could do on times alone, but they would at least be there waiting just in case something went wrong for our new rally leaders. That is, however, if they could hold off the advantage of this chasing pair. Roger Chilman and Brian Thomas still hunting down Robinson and in fact closing the gap now to just 14 seconds. Steve Bannister had a tumultuous event so far, it had to be said, including rolling the car. But the times were starting to look good now. He lies in 4th place and picking up that pace. And for Alan Walker and John Connor, it will be a fantastic 5th place at the end of the day. Alan, more of a regular in the co-driver seat on rallies in recent years, so this was certainly a good comeback weekend for him.
Very tricky there this afternoon, so it was. The Twigleys was a good stage, very nice and smooth, but it was very tricky underneath the trees and slippy. Then we had a bit of ice in Castleor, which gave us a big scare, so it did. Down into 6 left, we ended up the bank, and it was really... I mean, we were steady away in it, you know, so it's very tricky out there tonight. Even the last pass over the 2 there, I found it slippy, and just been a bit careful here and there, but no, all's good and a good day behind us, and another big day tomorrow as well, so we can't forget that. So the guys are going to pull the clutch out of the car here and stuff as well, and just check everything over. We're getting a bit of rasp in between gears, so just a lot of miles to do, so all good.
The final day then of stages loomed, and it was big nerves today. Lots of places to be decided right through the leaderboard. It will be flat out from the start for the crews, and indeed, there wouldn't be much change at the top. Marty McCormack and Barney Mitchell, a pair that love to go flat out from the start, managing to hold off those chasing them down and take victory. Repeating Marty's victory from 2012, but certainly not an easy one.
With Jason falling out on Sunday afternoon, you know, it wasn't what you expect. Like, it was probably more pressure than anything. At least when he was there, I had a target I knew I needed to do, and I just didn't want to try and go all out and try and get lots of time out of him, because I didn't want to go off the road, because it's such a long event. It's going to be so tricky, something can catch you out. But like when Jason retired, it was just so hard to try and find a rhythm and a pace, especially when we're getting caught out in the ice on Sunday night. So very difficult, very tricky. But wow, what a massive event! Like, you know, and fair play to everybody there. You know, that's done such an absolutely brilliant job of making this event such a success. You know, and the entry and everybody stands for it. The way it was run, everything was absolutely brilliant.
Matthew Robinson and Sam Collis managed to hold on to 2nd place, and in fact they open up the advantage with a good push on the final day. 2nd place for the pair, and a result they would have gladly taken at the start of the event, given the lack of seat time in that Escort. And there's frustration despite a fantastic result for 3rd place Roger Chilman and Brian Thomas. They didn't come here to make up the numbers. A victory would always have been the goal for Chilman, regardless of that lack of experience in the car and on some of the stages in this event. But they would, of course, be happy to walk away with such a tough event under their belt and the final step on the podium. Full feature-length coverage from the Roger Albert Clark Rally, including action throughout the overall and class results, and of course all of those class battles right through the entry, will be available on DVD in the coming weeks. Keep an eye out for details of how to get your copy. In the meantime, we'll leave you with a few more sights and sounds from the 2017 Roger Albert Clark Rally.